everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brie. Hi if you're new here, and also hello if you're back. Thank you for sticking around and watching all of these videos with me. So today I want to talk about kind of the goals that I'm going to have for specifically reading videos in the year 2020. I didn't really script this, so we're just going to kind of go off of what I've been thinking in my head for the last couple weeks and see how this goes. So stay tuned, I guess. We'll see if it's a success or not. In 2020, I do have a few goals that I want to try to accomplish around my reading and related videos that I'm going to be putting out there on my channel in the next year. One of the things that I really want to kind of do a little bit more in 2020, especially as I kind of get my footing even more, because I feel like I've been doing very well with videos. As I continue to get into the habit of making videos, I would really love to have to do some of like the challenges, especially the really unique ones that I see all around the booktube, especially from the big booktubers. Challenges might be just, simply doing bookshelf challenges or tags, but also kind of like really pushing my reading tastes and trying to challenge myself to read some new things. There's a couple of things that I've been thinking of that I might want to do as challenges, such as, doing like, I've seen a couple of videos about like the Goodreads picks challenges, like reading the Goodreads winners. And I'm definitely interested in stuff like that, like reading either like, top lists or things that people pick, etc. I also have some TBR videos that I would love to do, and I also consider those challenges because some of the ones I think, like, I have a lot of books that I've had on my shelves for years and years and years, and some of them I've bought in the last, 5 years, but just keep putting off, and then I'm buying the sequels, and then I'm never reading any of the books. So I really would love to get my TBR list down a lot in the next year. And a lot of the books in this room are on my TBR list. Like, I can't have a cart for TBR books because I can probably fill this entire shelf behind me with the books that I need to read. Half of them might need to be read. I'm not sure. I also have a few fun TBR videos where, I kind of have a vision for you guys picking my TBR. And that would kind of be in the vein of if I can, get, maybe we can say 500 subscribers in the next year, which is, I think, reaching for it. But if I can get there, I would love to do a You Choose My TBR video with a twist on it, and having kind of parameters. I have a few TBR video ideas about that are a little bit different or were really big in the past and I haven't seen in a while. So I kind of want to bring it back because I was always interested in those videos. So in general, just doing more challenges and really pushing myself with what I read, because I'm very comfortable reading fantasy and I'm very comfortable reading the popular fantasy books, which don't mean that they're bad at all because I typically like them. They're popular for a reason, but I definitely want to kind of expand my horizon. With that being said, I would love to read more horror in 2020 because I mentioned in my previous video that I don't read a lot, and I have a bunch of Stephen King books and a few other especially classic novels. I know I have Haunting of Hill House, which I'm pretty sure is a classic horror. I have Dracula. I have a good start. I also have The Passage, which someone had suggested to me to read as a start to horror. I didn't even realize it was a horror novel, but I do own that as well. So I think next year I would love to add some of that in there. As well as I would just like to keep kind of on the pace that I've been. I increased my literary fiction this year. I also increased some of my nonfiction self-help books and thriller mysteries, although I've always kind of liked those. I used to read them a lot more when I was younger, and then I got more into fantasy. But I would kind of like to keep that where they're at, really. I want to kind of continue to read some of them in the next year because I actually really been liking the literary fiction that I've read, and some of those books are going to actually be on my top books of the year, which is incredible to me because I feel like a couple years ago I would have never said that they were on the top of my list. I would be either not reading them or wouldn't enjoy them. Another goal of mine is to read at least 5 books that are over 500 pages. So I've mentioned this a few times in the past, but I am kind of intimidated by bigger books. To me, I'm a slower reader, and kind of thinking about reading that much material in one sitting, well, not one sitting, but for one book for a long time, kind of scares me, mostly because I have in my head that, like, you know, what if I don't end up enjoying it, or, you know, I am a slower reader, so it's going to take me a lot more time, and I could, you know, bang out 3 books by the time it would take me to read like a 600-page book. But I want to kind of get past that, and I want to tackle at least 5 of them next year. And I do have quite a few that have been sitting on my shelves forever. The Passage, as I just mentioned, is one. I also have a book called A Plague of Giants, which is annotated by the author, and I just think that is so cool, and I've put it on my shelf and forgot about it because of how big it is. So yeah, I should just get over that and read them. Another goal that I really want to make is to finish all the series that I've started, especially the ones that are completed. I mentioned I did a video where it was series that I need to finish a couple months ago, and a lot of them I still haven't finished yet. Big surprise. But there are a few that are completely done, and or there's a few I think on that list that will be done next year. So I would love to just try to get through all of the ones that I started in, you know, the past 2 years, I'd probably say, and then that way I can just be done with them and say I finally read them. Most of the time, all the ones that I want to continue were extremely good. So I don't know why I stopped. It's probably just because I can't focus on one series at a time. I know some people can easily binge read series all the time, and for me, I don't actually like to do that because I will get burnt out and or almost annoyed after a certain point. There's a few series that I have been able to go through fully, but I did that recently with the Raven Cycle. I read all 4 books and I loved it, but I knew I could not pick up Call Down the Hawk because I probably wouldn't like it because I was just burnt out with the series. And I also wanted to preserve what I liked so much about the series that I'm like, I can't start something new and then taint everything that I just read. So I think that's partly a reason why I haven't continued, but if you want more information on some of those series that I will try to finish next time, go check out my series I need to finish video, because that will give you pretty much all of the ones that I would talk about here right now. So in general, next year, another goal that I want to do is make more reading vlogs, and maybe even combination of reading and writing vlogs, because I had a lot of fun doing I did one reading vlog and I did my NaNoWriMo vlogs, and I had a lot of fun doing those. I think I can perfect them a little bit more and really, you know, because I think with the NaNoWriMo one in particular, and I did one other writing vlog, I was kind of like, I didn't know how I wanted to do it with, like, you know, cutting to writing and cutting to, you know, like how long should I put the writing in for? Should I just do a quick segment and then talk about it? Should I include other things in my life in those videos? So I think I can get much better at those vlogs, and I would like to do some more. I don't think I'm going to ever, at least not next year, I don't think I'm going to make them a consistent weekly basis because my life is crazy, and I'm already predicting next year I have a wedding and a bachelorette party and a possible vacation, and maybe life changes that will be coming up. I don't know. I'm just predicting that's going to be a really crazy year for me, and I don't think doing weekly vlogs is something I can commit to. But I can do more, and maybe I can even try once a month. So that's something else that I have a goal for this channel next year. In general, I always put my reading goal, like how many books I want to read in a year, at 52. I have done this for this will be the 3rd or 4th year in a row that I've set it at 52. When I first got back into reading while I was in grad school, I think I had put like 20 books, because I just never allowed myself. Actually, it might have even been lower. It might have been like 15 books or 12. It was like so low. And then once I started reading again, I think the first year I started like allowing myself to read more, and I started getting into audiobooks. I think I read like 83 books in the year, and I was like, okay, we could do this. So I always just keep it at 52 just in case, because I never want to put pressure on myself, and I know I can at least read a book a week. Sometimes I end up reading 2 or 3 books a week. If they're short and if they're audiobooks, I can get through a lot more, I know, but then there's going to be other weeks where I might not read anything because I'm either playing video games or I'm writing or I just have other life commitments. So we're going to keep it at 52. That's always my Goodreads goal, and that's just my life goal in general for book reading. And the last goal I just want to mention for my channel / reading is I want to do more buddy reads next year. I did a few in the past 2 years, and they were pretty successful, but my problem was, is again, some of those had to go with the series that I started a series either for a challenge or a buddy read, and then I stopped with it either because we were only reading the first one or I just got distracted or behind or something. So I definitely want to do some more buddy read. It would be really cool to do that with my friends that are readers and writers, but also with other booktubers, and especially the smaller ones. I have already talked to one small booktuber about possibly reading a science fiction book together. I don't know if that would be, like, I don't know if we're at the level of doing, like, live shows, but, I mean, down the line, that would be something cool. I always love watching people's interactions and doing kind of like a live show talk about what their thoughts were while reading the book and their overall opinions. So maybe we're not there yet, but I would just love to talk about and share my experience buddy reading with other people, especially people who I don't know in my daily life. So, something to keep in mind. I'm not committing myself to a specific number, but I definitely want to do that. As kind of like an extra little goal, me and my friend Caitlin, who has been on this channel before, she's my fellow co-writer if you are new here and you don't know, but Caitlin and I had tried to do, I think it was the beginning of this year in 2019, it might have been 2018 already because we failed miserably. Nope, it had to be 2018 because it was The Hate U Give was coming out as a movie, and we were trying to read the book and then go see the movie together. We did that with Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda, and that was very successful, and that's the only one that was successful. We tried to read it with The Hate U Give. I ended up reading the book. She read it later, I believe, and then we never saw the movie. And there was a couple other like book movies coming out in 2018 and 2019 that we were like, oh, we should read it and then go see it. And we never did. So I would love in 2020 to get back on that because it was so much fun. And it's just like, it's nice to have just kind of a girls' night where we can like kind of discuss the books and just watch a movie together, but also watch something that we've both read. So that's kind of like a side goal that I would also like to keep doing in my personal life. But I think that's all the goals that I have for now. I'm sure in a week from now and after this is all posted, I'm like, oh, I probably could have added blah, 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 blah. But, if anything, I'll just leave them in the comments and you guys could tell me what you think of them. But otherwise, do you guys have any reading goals of your own? And, if you're also a booktuber, do you have any plans for your booktube in the year 2020 as far as reading goes? So let me know down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you around. Bye.